Nets World, we're back with another video. It's your boy AJ. It's Nets News, hashtag we go hard. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any breaking news. So we're back here to talk about Harden, and I'm going to get the breaking news out the way before I talk about the lineups. So Brian Lewis reported today that Harden will be in Brooklyn today and will make his debut against the Magic on Saturday. He will make his debut against the Magic on Saturday. So Sean Marks, the GM, also had a conference and talked to reporters. Now, Sean Marks said, here, quote, on getting Big Three to work, they've given us the right answers. They understand without a doubt that there will be nights, one or two, we'll have to sacrifice the others. Another here, quote, we got to wait and see how this all fits on the floor and so forth. I think these guys have given us the right answers. They said, hey, they want to play together, then they can see this fitting. And then a last quote, he said, I have talked to Irving and KD on the phone, and Kyrie is excited about getting back on the floor, and he will be on the floor as soon as the NBA clears him of COVID protocol. So yes, that's good news, y'all. So that's a little breaking news for you guys before I start this video on lineups. Now, I've been watching a lot of YouTube and commentators, and I know now the Nets have a lot of haters because we will most likely be the most hated team in the NBA. We're the villains, guys. We are the villains of the NBA now. And the talk is, oh, the Nets have no depth. The Nets are going to play no defense. Kyrie and KD and Harden are not going to work. Too much iso ball. It's going to be toxic. Whoa. Let me stop you right there. One, did the Nets lose depth? Yes, we did, but we still have a lot of really good players in our bench that can contribute, which I will get into later. Two, oh, the Nets play no defense. They're going to be trash defensively. Okay, yes, we are going to struggle defensively, but we still have a strong perimeter defenders on our team. And don't forget, James Harden in 2019 led the league in steals, 124 steals last year. Also, KD is a block machine, and he is an underrated defender. On three, oh my God, it's going to be toxic. They're not going to work in the locker room. Nobody's going to play. Oh, well, the only player I'm worried about off the court is Kyrie. But as far as James Harden and KD, they're all world professionals and usually play every game. Fun fact, James has played 841 games in his whole career and has only missed 47 games. So you tell me if James Harden is not reliable. But anyway, now we're here to talk about who should start or what lineup should Steve Nash use and what's left of our roster depth. It's funny because I made a video a month ago about who should start in training camp, and now I'm making a whole new video about the depth chart of the new Nets. Now, I first want to get the news out the way. Well, I first want to look at the starting lineup here. So, Bruce Brown, this should be the starting lineup that Steve Nash should start, in my opinion. Now, let's just assume that Kyrie is not going to be back for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, right? So this is what the starting lineup should be, in my opinion. Bruce Brown, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Jeff Green, and DeAndre Jordan. Now, all the real Nets fans know about Bruce Brown. Not you Nets fans that are jumping on the wagon. Yeah, I see you watching this video, you Houston Rocket fans. You know what I mean? You're welcome to join Nets Nation, but just know, like, we have a culture here, you know what I mean? We've been here for a long time. We've been waiting all our lives for this, so you let me know. So, but back to Bruce. Bruce will bring that defensive energy and hustle to the starting lineup. He doesn't need to score, so he just would be the facilitator, set up plays, get KD and Harden the ball, and play extreme defense on the opponent's best player. Then we have Jeff Green. Well, you guys know what KD and Harden would do. But then we have Jeff Green. He's also a savvy defender, solid. He can rebound. He's played with Harden before last year, so he knows his tendencies. So he can space the floor, shoot threes, and play solid defense at that 4 spot. Then at the 5, DJ. You guys know I don't trust DJ at center with this lineup, but it's really 50-50 with him. Some games DJ will be a liability on defense and will look terrible, and some games he'll play amazing on defense, block a ton of shots, and the Nets could turn into Lob City. You guys know how much Harden loves throwing lobs, as you've seen in Houston with Clint Capella and Christian Wood, and Harden throws a ton of lobs. By the way, Harden is averaging 10 assists on the season. Now let's look at the Nets second unit, y'all. So the next second unit would be Tyler Johnson. Tyler Johnson could still be on the COVID protocol, so for now it will be Chris Chiozza. The real Nets fans know what Cheese is capable of. So again, Chris Chiozza probably will start on the bench with the second unit because Tyler Johnson is out. So now at the 2, I believe Joe Harris should come off our bench. Now, it's really, really big for Steve Nash to bring Joe Harris off the bench because Joe Harris could be crucial for our buckets off the bench. Just think about it. Having one of the top 3 shooters in the NBA coming off the bench would be so helpful for the Nets. So far in our second unit, we'll have Chris Chiozza right at the 1, Joe Harris at the 2. Now, at the 3 would be Landry Shamet. I know what y'all saying. He's not a small forward. We will be small in the second unit, but that's not. But we're just going to have to deal with that until Sean Marks fills the roster. But again, all we know how Landry has been playing is like he's an okay defender and he's a marksman from 3, although he has been struggling heavy with us. His shooting has been really bad lately. He won't have pressure on him to score because we will have Joe Harris. Joe Harris is a top 3 shooter in the league, so it's like Landry won't have that pressure on him to get buckets because he will have Joe with him on the second unit. Now at the 4, we'll have TLC. We all know how great TLC is. The real Nets fans know how TLC works. Like Nets Nation, we know what he's capable of. He's an amazing perimeter defender, long, lanky at 6'7". He has been very good shooting the 3 lately, and he can space the floor. A very good scorer. He will be key for us off the bench, and he can score a lot of buckets off the bench. Then at the 5, Reggie Perry, the rookie. So Reggie is an underrated pick in the draft. He's strong and getting rebounds very well. He's still raw. I mean, he's a rookie. He's still raw, but he's learning. But he can space the floor and he can also shoot threes, and he plays great defense. So Reggie would be at that 5 in the second unit. Because again, we lost a lot of depth until Nick Claxton comes back. Because Nick Claxton he's injured right now, but I'll do another video on Nick Claxton later. So let's get into the essence of our second unit will be. So the second unit will be a small ball lineup, but still a very capable bench that can score. Like, you think about all these players I just named, a lot of people who don't watch the Nets don't know we still have depth and great players on our bench, y'all. Don't forget, we punched the Sixers by 20 with no KD and Kyrie. I know Karras was great, but he wasn't the only guy that scored that game. Other people played well, and we still have those guys on that team. They're still here, y'all. Like, they're still here. Now let's look at what the lineup will be with Kai when Kai comes back, right? It will basically be the same lineup, but we just exchange Bruce Brown at the 1 for Kai, Harden, KD, Jeff, and DJ. Now the second unit, we will just bump Chiozza out at that 1 and put Bruce Brown there. Then we'll have Bruce Brown, Joe Harris, Landry Shamet, TLC, and Reggie at the 5. Steve Nash must not start Joe Harris because it will mess everything up. And you can't really mix Joe Harris with KD, Kyrie, and Harden. That would be a stupid lineup to start because we need rebounding and defense. But I won't be surprised if Steve Nash tries this lineup, y'all, because Nets Nation, we all know Steve Nash is a mad scientist with his experiments. He got his lab coat and he's ready to put 1,000 different lineups, you know, because he's one of those coaches. But this lineup of KD, Joe Harris, Harden, like that lineup will be incredible in a small ball lineup. Imagine that though. Kai, KD, Harden, Joe Harris, and Jeff Green. Like, oh my God. Think about Joe Harris. He's one of the best shooters in the league, right? And one of the best off the ball players in the league. So he would space the floor and let Harden, Kai, and K do their magic. But if you double any of them, the 3, you have Joe open, who's shooting 44% from 3. So that small ball lineup will be crazy. And then you have Jeff at the 5, so you can go 5 out with all those players. And Jeff would be solid defensively. Jeff is solid defensively, but he can also space the floor and shoots threes at a high clip. So this lineup would be very bad defensively, but it'll be a beautiful, potent scoring lineup that we can use in the fourth quarter, like the last minute lineup when we need a 3 or a game winner. Like, that's the all scoring lineup. Kai, KD, Joe Harris, Harden, and Jeff Green. Like, that is that small ball. I need a bucket. I need a 3. Anybody can shoot a 3, 5 out, space the floor, drive and kick. That is that crazy scoring lineup. Now, you can use that lineup in the third and fourth quarter where we need a bucket, but starting that lineup would be very, very bad because it's not really a good defensive team, and we still need rebounding, y'all. So again, without Kyrie, my lineup would be Bruce Brown, James Harden, KD, Jeff Green, and DeAndre Jordan. With Kyrie, it'll be Kyrie, James Harden, KD, Jeff Green, and DeAndre Jordan. Now, a lot of people were saying, okay, it would be better since Kyrie and James Harden might clash. Let's say, because we're gonna go through some struggles, Nets Nation. We're gonna go through some struggles where the ISO might not work. There's gonna be days where the offense looks kind of, and we're gonna have those days. I'm not saying it's gonna be an instant like, oh, everybody's gonna get in the court. It's gonna be 1,000 points. It's not gonna go like that. Like, we're gonna have our days where we struggle, and we're gonna need time to develop chemistry. But again, like, if there's a possibility, right? Think about if Steve Nash asked James to come off the bench, right? Which I don't think will happen, but I'm just gonna think of a possibility, like hypothetically, if he brought James off the bench, that would be even crazier, because James in our second unit with Joe Harris, such a sharpshooter he can pass to, it would be incredible. Like, that could take the Nets to a whole different level. But I don't think James Harden is too much of a star to come off the bench. But again, we don't know what James Harden's mental is. We saw Sean Marks say that, okay, they're all willing to sacrifice. So we know they're gonna have to sacrifice. Somebody's gonna have to step back. Somebody's gonna have to, step back and let somebody else score some nights. Who's hot, like one of those days. So we gotta see how everything works together. But if James Harden were to come off the bench, oh my God, that would be crazy, because he would have his own unit. You won't really have that ISO clash with him and Kyrie, because James Harden will have his own unit and can just work with Joe Harris, TLC, and score. Like, he'll be the James Harden that he was on the Rockets, but on our second unit. Think about that. He can probably score 40 off the bench. Will be crazy, and he'll eventually just mix in with KD and Kyrie in the fourth quarter. But there you go. That's my little review on who should start, the lineups, our depth chart. Again, Nicholas Claxton is a very good center too. So he's a 7-foot guard basically. But when Nicholas Claxton comes back, I'll do probably another video when Nicholas Claxton comes back, just a separate video on him, because he's a very talented center that people forget about, that is on our team, that can boost our depth tremendously. Like, he plays defense, he matches up with everybody. But that's a whole nother video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Are you guys excited for Saturday against the Magic? Let me know. It's your boy AJ. It's Nets Nation. We go hard. Damn, yo. I still can't believe we got Harden, y'all. Yo, it's your boy AJ. I'm out.